What if I told you that the premium brand you're loyal to, the one you gladly pay extra for, might be selling you the exact same car as its budget-friendly rival? It's not a conspiracy theory, it's one of the auto industry's most common and clever strategies. This practice is called badge engineering, a behind-the-scenes maneuver where automakers share everything from the chassis to the engine, slap on a different logo, change a few cosmetic pieces, and sell them as two completely different vehicles. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on 10 pairs of cars that look different but are secretly the same. And trust me, some of these partnerships and the stories behind them will genuinely shock you. If you want to learn the secrets the car industry doesn't always advertise and make smarter decisions, do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button right now. You won't want to miss what's coming. Number 1. GMC Sierra vs Chevrolet Silverado. Let's kick things off with the undisputed kings of truck cloning, the GMC Sierra and the Chevrolet Silverado. For decades, these two have been the textbook example of badge engineering. Underneath the different grills, these trucks are brothers from the same mother, General Motors. They ride on the identical frame, they're assembled in the same factories, and they offer the exact same lineup of powerful engines, from the surprisingly capable 2.7L Turbo 4 to the legendary small block V8s and the stump-pulling Duramax diesel. Their towing capacities and payload ratings are virtually identical across the board. So why does the GMC Sierra consistently command a higher price? It's a masterclass in marketing. GMC has meticulously crafted an image as the professional-grade choice, a more luxurious and refined truck for the discerning buyer. Chevrolet, on the other hand, is the dependable, all-American workhorse. You're paying thousands more for the Sierra's imposing chrome grille, its unique C-shaped LED lighting, and most importantly, a more premium interior. Step inside a top-trim Sierra Denali, and you'll find open-pore wood, brushed aluminum, and higher-quality leather that you won't find in a Silverado. But hold up, the tech is often shared too. The innovative Multi-Pro tailgate on the GMC? It's available as the Multi-Flex tailgate on the Chevy. Here's the truth. If you need a tough, reliable truck for work and daily life, and don't need the country club aesthetics, the Silverado offers 99% of the same capability for a significantly smaller price tag. Number 2. Pontiac G3 vs Chevrolet Aveo. From a story of success to one of utter desperation. By 2009, the historic Pontiac brand, the brand that gave us the GTO and the Firebird, was on life support, a victim of GM's internal mismanagement. The Pontiac G3 was its faint final heartbeat, but this car wasn't a last blaze of glory. It was a quiet, embarrassing surrender. It represented everything wrong with GM's strategy at the time. Here's the undeniable truth. The Pontiac G3 was nothing more than a Chevrolet Aveo with a different plastic grille snapped onto the front. But the story gets even more depressing. The Chevy Aveo itself wasn't a GM original. It was a rebadged Daewoo Kalos, an economy car designed and built in South Korea. So the G3 was a rebadge of a rebadge. Powered by a minuscule 1.6-liter engine, making a lethargic 106 horsepower, and filled with an ocean of cheap, hollow, hard plastics, the G3 felt like a penalty box on wheels. It was a soulless appliance that did nothing to honor the Pontiac legacy of excitement. It sold fewer than 7,000 units in the US before GM finally pulled the plug on the entire Pontiac division in 2010. The G3 stands as a grim monument to what happens when a brand loses its identity completely. Number 3. Toyota GR86 vs Subaru BRZ. Now for a partnership that got it absolutely right. The Toyota GR86 and Subaru BRZ are modern legends in the world of affordable, fun-to-drive sports cars. They are the result of a brilliant joint venture, but they are born from the exact same DNA. Both cars are built side by side in a Subaru-owned factory in Guatemala. They share the same fantastic chassis, the same 6-speed manual and automatic transmissions, and most importantly, the same heart, a 2.4-liter flat-4 boxer engine designed by Subaru. So, are they truly identical? Yes, but with a subtle philosophical split that enthusiasts love to debate. The engineering teams at Toyota and Subaru had slightly different goals. Toyota's team, led by engineers from their Gazoo Racing GR Performance division, tuned the GR86's suspension with softer front springs and stiffer rear anti-roll bars. The goal was to make the car a little more playful, more willing to rotate, and easier to drift. Subaru, on the other hand, used stiffer front springs and aluminum front knuckles, tuning the BRZ for more precision, stability, and grip. But hold up, Toyota sweetens the deal to push its performance identity even further. Every new GR86 buyer gets a complimentary 1-year membership to NASA, the National Auto Sport Association, and a free professional high-performance driving course. At the end of the day, the choice comes down to brand loyalty and whether you prefer a car that feels a little more like a scalpel or one that's a bit more of a dance partner. Number 4. Mazda 2 versus Toyota Yaris. This is a truly bizarre story of an award-winning car that had to wear a disguise to survive and still failed. In the global market, the second and third generation Mazda 2 was a phenomenal subcompact car. It won the World Car of the Year award and was praised by critics for being stylish, efficient, and incredibly fun to drive. A true embodiment of Mazda's zoom zoom spirit. But it just didn't sell in the SUV-obsessed American market. So Mazda, in need of a partner, teamed up with Toyota. The rebadging journey that followed was an identity crisis played out in public. First, the Mazda 2 sedan was reborn as the Scion IA in 2015, featuring a rather awkward-looking front grille. When Toyota shut down its youth-oriented Scion brand a year later, the car was renamed the Toyota Yaris IA. Finally, Toyota dropped the IA and just called it the Toyota Yaris sedan and hatchback. You wouldn't believe this, but despite being an excellent, well-built Mazda underneath, and now wearing the most trusted badge in the automotive world, the car still couldn't find an audience. It was quietly discontinued in the US in 2020, proving that sometimes, even the marketing power of Toyota can't save a great car that the market simply doesn't want. Number 5. Toyota BZ4X versus Subaru Solterra. As the automotive world pivots to electric, old partnerships are creating new twins. Toyota and Subaru decided to enter the mainstream EV game together, sharing the massive cost of developing an all-new electric platform. The result is the Toyota BZ4X and the Subaru Solterra, two futuristic-looking electric SUVs that are, for the most part, identical. They are built on Toyota's eTNGA dedicated electric vehicle platform and, in their popular all-wheel drive configurations, use two electric motors to produce the exact same 215 horsepower and 249 lb of torque. But here's the twist, where decades of brand identity created a crucial difference for buyers. Toyota, a brand that appeals to the broadest possible market, offers a front-wheel drive, single-motor version of the BZ4X. This version is cheaper and boasts a longer EPA-estimated range of 252 miles, appealing to pragmatic EV shoppers. Subaru, however, has built its entire brand on the promise of symmetrical all-wheel drive. Staying true to its rugged all-weather heritage, Subaru only sells the Solterra in the US with all-wheel drive. This decision caps its range at 227 miles but ensures every Solterra meets the brand's core promise. It's a fascinating case study of how a company's philosophy can dictate engineering choices, even in a shared project. Number 6. Nissan Frontier versus Mercedes-Benz X-Class. This is the cautionary tale every luxury brand should study. It's what happens when a prestigious automaker tries to take a shortcut into a tough blue-collar market. In 2017, Mercedes-Benz wanted a piece of the booming global midsize pickup truck market. Instead of spending billions to engineer one from the ground up, they leveraged a partnership with the Renault-Nissan alliance. They took the rugged body-on-frame platform of the Nissan Navara, the global cousin to the American Nissan Frontier, and attempted to give it the Mercedes treatment. They designed a unique body, installed a high-end interior reminiscent of their SUVs, and even offered a powerful Mercedes-built V6 turbo diesel engine in the top trim. But listen, the disguise wasn't convincing. Despite the three-pointed star on the grille, the X-Class couldn't hide its humble origins. The driving dynamics, the cab dimensions, and the overall feel were unmistakably Nissan. Critics and, more importantly, buyers weren't fooled. It was too expensive and not rugged enough for commercial users, and it didn't feel authentic enough for luxury buyers. The project was a massive financial flop and was discontinued after just 3 short years on the market. Number 7. Chrysler Town & Country versus Dodge Grand Caravan. For an entire generation, Chrysler executed a masterclass in market domination by turning one vehicle into two. The Chrysler Town & Country and the Dodge Grand Caravan were the undisputed kings of the minivan segment, and they were the same vehicle underneath. Chrysler, the company that invented the minivan, perfected the formula. Both vans rode on the same platform, were powered by the same reliable 3.6-liter Pentastar V6 engine, and featured the truly game-changing stow-and-go seating system that allowed the second and third rows to vanish into the floor. The difference was purely in positioning and profit margin. The Dodge Grand Caravan was brilliantly marketed as the affordable, durable choice for young families on a budget, often advertised with a low starting price. The Chrysler Town & Country was its upscale sibling, the premium option for families who wanted a touch of luxury. It came standard with features like leather upholstery, power sliding doors, a power liftgate, and a higher price tag to match. For decades, savvy buyers knew the secret. You could get a well-optioned Grand Caravan SXT or RT and have basically the same van as the Town & Country, saving thousands in the process. It was a strategy that allowed them to capture both ends of the market with a single product. Number 8. Saab 9-2X versus Subaru Impreza. In the mid-2000s, General Motors' extensive portfolio of brands led to some very strange bedfellows. GM owned a 20% stake in Subaru's parent company, Fuji Heavy Industries, and they decided to use it to fill a gap in Saab's lineup. The result was one of the quirkiest and most beloved collaborations in modern car history, the Saab 9-2X, lovingly nicknamed the Subaru by enthusiasts. The recipe was simple: take a Japanese-built Subaru Impreza wagon and give it a sophisticated Swedish makeover. The high-performance 9-2X Aero model was in fact a Subaru WRX in a stylish, more mature suit, complete with its iconic turbocharged boxer engine and all-wheel drive. But that's not all. This was more than just a simple badge swap. Saab's engineers made real, meaningful improvements. They added significant amounts of sound-deadening material for a quieter, more refined ride. They used Saab's own steering rack for better feel, retuned the suspension for a smoother European character, and upgraded the interior with higher quality materials and Saab's signature design cues. The problem? The car confused everyone. Saab loyalists didn't see it as a real Saab, and Subaru fans didn't want to pay a premium for a fancier WRX. It was discontinued after just 2 model years, but today, the Subaru has become a highly sought-after cult classic for enthusiasts who appreciate its unique blend of Japanese performance and Swedish style. Number 9. Dodge Stealth versus Mitsubishi 3000 GT. The early 1990s were a wild time for technology-fueled Japanese sports cars, and this pair was a prime example of an ambitious Japanese-American alliance known as Diamond Star Motors. The Dodge Stealth and the Mitsubishi 3000 GT were both designed and built by Mitsubishi in Nagoya, Japan, sharing the same advanced chassis and a range of powerful engine options. The top-of-the-line models, the Dodge Stealth RT Twin-Turbo and the Mitsubishi 3000 GT VR4, were technological marvels for their time. They both featured a 3.0-liter 24-valve twin-turbocharged V6 engine, all-wheel drive, and 4-wheel steering. These cars were packed with more tech than a contemporary Porsche, but here's the kicker: Mitsubishi kept the coolest, most futuristic gadgets for itself. The 3000 GT VR4 was equipped with a switch-operated active exhaust system and, most famously, active aerodynamics, a front air dam and a rear spoiler that automatically adjusted their angle based on the car's speed. The Dodge Stealth, positioned as a slightly more affordable sibling, never received these headline-grabbing features. That small but significant difference has made the 3000 GT VR4 the more iconic and collectible of the two twins in today's classic car market. Number 10. Ford Escape versus Mazda Tribute. When the small crossover SUV boom exploded in the early 2000s, Ford and Mazda, who were corporate partners through Ford's controlling stake in the Japanese company, teamed up to tackle the new segment. The result was the Ford Escape and the Mazda Tribute. These two SUVs were developed jointly and were, for all intents and purposes, mechanically identical. They shared the same platform, the same powertrain options, a basic 2.0-liter 4-cylinder and a much punchier 3.0-liter V6, and offered a nearly identical driving experience and interior layout. The difference was purely down to styling and marketing philosophy. Ford, leveraging its truck heritage, designed the Escape with a boxy, rugged look to resemble a mini Explorer. It was marketed as a tough, versatile family vehicle. Mazda, in the midst of its successful Zoom Zoom advertising campaign, tried to inject a sense of sportiness into the Tribute, giving it a sleeker front end and marketing it as the SUV with the soul of a sports car. The American market voted overwhelmingly with their wallets. The Ford brand name and its massive dealer network resonated far more with SUV buyers, and the Escape became a sales juggernaut that continues to be a bestseller today, while the Mazda Tribute struggled to find its identity and quietly faded away. Which of these car pairs shocked you the most? And what are some other automotive twins you know about? Drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. Thanks for watching.